Dean, my husband, the most amazing man I've ever met, the most loyal, hardworking, genuine person. Let me give you an example. His best friend since childhood cheated on his wife, and what does Dean do? Dean decides to break contact and not talk to his best friend ever again because he says cheating is something he is so against and will not stand to be friends with a cheater. Well, knowing that fact, imagine my surprise when my mother calls me up one day and she's telling me that she has cold, hard evidence that Dean is a cheater and he cheated on me. But not just that, he's still cheating with his ex, Selena, who by the way is back in town. So you know what? I'm gonna get to the bottom of this. Hey guys, I'm Laura. I've come here with a weird situation and I'm not gonna lie. My moral compass is leaning towards the wrong side, all because of my sister, the biggest brat on the planet. Emma, 23, to sum it up, Emma's trying to pull me and my husband Dean apart because she's jealous I'm doing so well in life. She's even manipulated my poor old mother into believing her. And also, I think just maybe, she still has a teensy-weensy crush on my husband. Yeah, my husband. I'm about to throw my D's once I get evidence, but for now, all I can do is seethe. I've always been known around my town for my success as a young female from a middle-class family. My father passed while my mother was pregnant with Emma, and he really didn't leave any worldly possessions for us to live off of. My mother's a school teacher, and the town's tiny elementary school. She raised us with whatever she had in her, and that trait has been on me. I'm a woman known for my resilience, basking in the glory of a cherished marriage. Unfortunately, I don't think Emma got the memo that she's not that rich. The girl worked a single day in her life, and I get that everyone has hardships and everyone deals with them differently. I don't want a freaking rosette for getting my crap together, but I don't want to raise a grown-up. She's 23, living off me and Mom. It's almost like we're raising a little girl with the way she acts. In this economy, she throws parties all the time. And you know who attends them? High school kids. Honestly, I think she peaked in high school and she does not want to let that go. She was like the queen bee or something, and now that she hasn't accomplished anything in life, she's trying to relive her glory days or something. She did not even go to college, claiming she was waiting for a rich husband who would treat her like a princess. She's been with a lot of rich guys, but none of them work out because of her entitlement and bratty attitude. Let me give you an example of what exactly that we have to deal with. So basically, on her 22nd birthday last year, she asked for a very expensive wall mount television. The television she wanted retails for $700. So most of our family members pitched in to buy it for her. I even paid $400 on my mom's insistence, resulting in her only getting 3 other gifts this year from her high school best friends. Wow, she was already mad because she got fewer gifts. It came down to the very last gift from our aunt. Is it just me, or does literally everyone have this one very rich aunt? My sister opened it, and the second she pulled it out, it was a bag. And she said, "Do we have the receipt for this?" It was a nice tote bag, and it had floral patterns all over it, and Mom laughed at what my sister said and told her to look inside the bag. Inside the tote was a lovely Chanel perfume and a box of chocolates. My sister looked at them and then said she did not want any of this, and that her aunt should just return them all. She also got a card from the same aunt, which had $50 in it, and she said, "Oh, there's only $50, cool," when she opened it. After this, she began to cry because she did not like any of the gifts that she got, and because she wanted more. Crying while watching her newly set up Netflix account that I paid for, of course, in her room, on the TV, hung on the wall. Thankfully, I don't have to live with her anymore. But my mom puts up with her childish act every single day. At this point, I don't think Mom knows what normal behavior is anymore. She thinks I'm super nice or something when all I do is take her to the doctor, visit every weekend, and DoorDash for her. The literal bare minimum. The thing is, Emma manipulates her a lot, and in her eyes, Emma can do no wrong. She always manages to convince me into splurging on Emma for her sake, reminding me how hard it was for us as children. Emma brings up the fact that we both grew up without a dad, a lot, and guilt trips Mom all the time. She says bad stuff about our dad and how he did not leave anything behind for us, or how he did not pull through for his daughter. Yeah, singular, she doesn't give a crap about my stance on this one. And she even said he had the nerve to die on us. Mom listens to her. Feeling terrible, I keep telling my mother she should be watchful for signs of manipulation, such as frequent guilt tripping, emotional manipulation, consistent lying, attempts at isolation, controlling behavior, lack of empathy, and most importantly, financial exploitation. I've tried to talk to her and get her to ask Emma to move out, or at least follow her passion and build some sort of career. She won't budge. I try to steer clear of Emma and her toxic energy, and I moved out when I got married a couple of years back. But I send home money regularly, as I'm doing really well in life, financially and emotionally. My marriage with Dean is a miracle. He's the most important person to me, and he means the world to me. We've built a strong bond of love, trust, and mutual support over the years. Dean is my rock, my confidant and my partner in crime. The crime being dousing on Coca-Cola and chips laying in bed watching Breaking Bad on the laptop, and not shutting the bathroom door while going. We've always had an awesome understanding of each other, and our connection is absolutely unbreakable. Let's come to that now. So, I met Dean about 8 years ago at a freshers party that the company we work for held. We had a fight because I was drunk and he tried to cut me off before I did anything inappropriate. He was driving me home when I was almost passed out, also mildly intoxicated, but the police caught us on the way back and we spent a night in jail. Full of constant bickering about whose fault it was, and after the night we had a huge rivalry and you could cut the tension with a knife. It was kinda straining the office environment, and we had to be sent to the HR's room a couple of times to resolve petty arguments. Eventually, I just gave in and apologized. Then he did too. After I did, that petty little jerk. And we went out for beers just to smooth it out. Turns out we get along pretty well. We started going on dates after that night and, well, smooshed booties. Workplace ethic, y'all. And after only a year of being together, he proposed to me on a romantic getaway. Nothing too far, you know how it is when getting leaves from work, right? And we got married on, you guessed it, the same date the fresher party was. It was a huge wedding and more than half of the town was there. The only weird thing that happened in our relationship was when Emma accidentally, yeah right, sent nudes to Dean. He thankfully did not show them to me, he just told me about this little incident and asked me to make sure my sister is safe online. See, he's so innocent. He didn't even realize my sister very intentionally sent that. I mean, come on. How do you accidentally send nudes to someone you literally never text? She's always been flirtatious, but Dean has been completely oblivious to it. She bats her eyelashes and giggles at his jokes, and he thinks she's like his younger sister. Well, to be honest, it was not the only weird thing that happened, but I don't hold it against her because she was ridiculously sloshed. A few years ago, I went to my friend's 21st birthday, and Dean picked me up because I was drinking. My sister was drunk, since she drank almost every night. Mind you, she's 17, and my mom was working her second job as a waitress during the night because things were getting tight, and asked us to come over since she was lonely. Of course, we said yes. She then started asking weird questions like, about our intimacy life, which was not something we liked to discuss openly with other people, especially my sister, who cannot be trusted. She then continued to talk about stuff I discussed with her in private about, well, coitus with my boyfriend, which I don't think is appropriate at all. She went on to say that I should wear lingerie for him, and how he needs that, and I'm a terrible girlfriend if I can't provide him with his needs. Dean then said, bless his heart, he doesn't expect anything from me I'm not comfortable with. She then ranted about how she wore it all the time for her boyfriends. I'm not shaming her, but yes, boyfriends and highly inappropriate because she's a minor, and offered to take him upstairs and show him. But clearly, I put my foot down and said that was obviously not going to happen. After that, we cleared out, and Dean and I had a laugh about it. When I and Dean had that silly little office rivalry, Emma was so mad at me. She told me that Dean was her dream guy, and that I'm hurting her chances by being rude to him. She claimed he was rich, absolute eye candy, and a sweet guy in general, innocent and just waiting to be exploited by her. I didn't really object to her delusions. I hated Dean at the time. She did try to pursue him, but he's basically sister-zoned her the minute they started interacting. It's actually what made me see him in a new light. And before you call me an a-hole for stealing her man, I actually asked her before dating him, and she said yes. But she gave me a really weird answer. She was like, no one's gonna stay with the klutz that you are. You'll trip him right into my arms sooner or later, right? Well, I ignored this because I was used to her weird comments. Well, our happy-go-lucky relationship was the talk of the town, because Dean is the mayor's son. All the skeptics gossiping about how I was probably marrying him for money shut up when they came to our wedding, because the wedding was not grandiose or anything, no. The walls were covered with pictures of us, our special moments, and it was all very personal and rustic. The centerpieces were replaced with cosmos that we grew together in his garden. The wedding was not just meant to be big, it was meant to celebrate our love, and it did just that. In our relationship, there's a sense of security and comfort that I've never experienced before. Oops, daddy issues. We've made this small safe haven for each other, where we can openly spew BS, share our silly dreams and stupid fears, and work through the challenges that we came across at our jobs. After all, we do work together in the same company, you know. Dean is my greatest supporter and motivator, encouraging me to pursue my goals and dreams. My life with Dean was one that many looked upon with longing, especially my younger sister Emma, infamous for her drama-fueled antics. My mother was the happiest woman alive, other than me, of course, when I informed her that I was getting married to Dean. She had been rooting for us since the day one, and even predicted that we'd be together when we were office nemesis. She'd ask me all the dang time, "So, Laura, when is he popping the question?" She didn't even know he was the mayor's son until Emma brought it up to her and told her I was lucky for bagging a man of her dreams, and that either way she was going to exploit him somehow. These comments have made me very protective of Dean, and I almost always keep him away from her. I limit their interactions and make sure I'm supervising any conversation that they're having. Dean just finds it so weird that I hover around when they're hanging out, but he trusts me and knows I have my reasonings. I'd tell him, but I'm not gonna lie. I'm a bit embarrassed by her whole "I want a rich man" BS, and don't have the heart to tell him she only wants to get into his wallet and not actually talk to him or be his friend. Because, well, he does really like her act anyways. Of course, I keep Dean's finances separate and make sure not a dollar of his is spent by Emma or any other snakes that Dean is too nice to see through. So, after years of our marriage, we've been stronger than ever, And Mom has been happy with it. My in-laws are extremely kind and sweet, and we might start preparing to have a kid soon. Our house was bought by both of us only after a year of marriage, not his parents or any debt left. Though, to be fair, it is a small town and house rates are significantly cheaper here. We honestly feel very content and happy, busy with our petty fights and silly cold wars over the last pizza slice. So yeah, it was really peculiar when Mom called at 1 a.m., sounding like she was about to be murdered or something. Unexpectedly, I received a distress call from her just a few days ago. She was wailing, and it was hard to get anything from her. After about 30 minutes of sobbing over the phone and me asking whether I should drive over if there's something wrong, I finally get her to breathe and stop sounding out like a siren. Through bated breaths and sniffles, though, I could barely make out what she was actually saying initially. So I just hung up and drove to her house and, well, leaving a note behind for Dean. When I got there, I could not see Emma anywhere, so I immediately got concerned and thought something was wrong with her. When I asked Mom, though, she told me that Emma was out with this new man and that she'd be back tomorrow evening. How convenient now that I think about it. Anyways, I sat Mother down on the couch, and after I made her some soup and asked her what was up, tearfully she shared a shocking revelation. Dean was allegedly carrying out an affair with his ex, Selena. She told me that Dean was cheating on me and had been unfaithful for almost a month or two. She refused to elaborate when I pressed for more information, though, and she did not tell me her source or give me any proof. When I asked her who told her this, she just skirted around it, claiming I did not trust her enough and that I should just believe her if she was saying something like this. She then slyly added that if I knew from whom she heard it, I simply would not believe her, but that she had seen the whole thing playing out right there in front of her own eyes. She started discussing my options, asking me to file for divorce immediately, and she implored me to leave Dean at once, insisting that she had conclusive proof and evidence, but she still would not tell me what the proof was. Whether it was pictures, text messages, receipts, or God knows what. The only thing she kept insisting on was that I needed to divorce Dean. Yet, something did not quite add up. Like, my mother did not know who Selena is. She could not be lying, but she might have been misinformed. Remember, I mentioned that night we decided to have a couple of beers and end the rivalry. So, this one night, a couple more hangouts after that one, we were both wasted, and we started talking about our past. He did bring up this chick, Selena, and how she was, quote, the one that got away. He said there was no real reason for their breakup other than the fact that she moved to another country as a traveling nurse. He then mentioned how he'd completely healed and moved on, and that those memories were bittersweet, but he had something new now, and perhaps better to focus on. That was actually the night our relationship took a turn. A very sharp turn. With both of us being raw and honest and him confessing he liked me. One thing stuck out to me from my memories of sitting next to my crying mother. He said she was not going to be back in the US for at least 10 years, due to her education, internship, and overall contract. So that meant there were at least 2 years for her to come back now. This was how I deducted that her solid proof was probably just a text message. I actually remembered Selena vaguely. She was a lovely young woman, my junior in high school, and on the debate team with me. We met at a reunion for about a minute or two and made small talk, only a couple of weeks before she left. Man, I'll be honest with you, she was hot. I mean, I'm not into other women, but if I were, she would be my crush. Dean Pools? So yeah, there was a logical possibility that Dean may have been texting her, But I trust Dean. There's no proof on Earth that could make me think Dean was cheating. By reasoning, one could deduce that he might have been cheating, but deep down inside, I could feel that he would never cheat. Plus, he literally has no reason to. You know what I mean? I came to the conclusion that she was obviously being influenced and brainwashed by someone. No prizes for whoever manages to guess who I'm suspecting now. I remembered my mother being vulnerable to manipulation when emotionally distressed, particularly by one person. With her ongoing health issues, she had been just that, constantly on edge and worried for our future. No wonder she was so paranoid. I could not shake off the suspicion that Emma was exploiting this vulnerability. Emma, my, spoiled younger sister, has a history of jealousness towards my marriage, and, especially when contrasted with her own tumultuous love life. The types of guys that she attracts are rich boys that are, not the nicest, with daddy's money and not to worry in the world of responsibility. Obviously, she had trouble holding down a guy. All the nice rich guys stayed away from her because she was so dang rude. The jealousy had become increasingly noticeable, causing me to believe this was another attempt from Emma to sabotage my happiness. All these stupid things like forcing herself onto Dean, making me look terrible in front of him, and constantly being a jerk are why I keep Dean away from her completely. Honestly, I don't think he likes her very much either at this point, even though he insists she's just like his baby sister, and is not upfront about his irritation. Emma's the only reason I'm scared to have a child. What if she turns out like my sister? I practically brought Emma up, because Mom was too busy providing for us to be really there in Emma's formative years. Emma has repulsive opinions and stances in life, but I never thought she was a bad person. Until now. I have not ever talked to anyone except Dean about this particular insecurity of mine. That it's my fault Emma turned out this way, and I keep thinking I'll be a bad mother. Ignoring my mother's frantic plea, I decided to trust Dean, viewing the allegations as mere concoctions of my sister's envy-filled mind. I explained to my mother that I trusted Dean, and that whatever she heard from his, quote, unknown source was complete, utter crap. She even grabbed onto me as I left, pleading for me to believe her. I said, "Unless you give up your source, I'm not going to believe you, Mom. I've heard you out, and I shall do my own research now. But Mom, you cannot ask me to divorce the love of my life over some rumors you won't even elaborate on." I left and drove back home. It was 5 by then, so I worked out, took a shower, ate the breakfast that Dean made, and we went to work. Surprisingly, Dean did not ask me what happened when I came home. He just acknowledged my tiredness and left me sleep for a bit after breakfast, and on the way towards work, he picked up some of my work slack at the office. He knows it's just one of those days. Anyways, we came back home and now I'm sitting here, writing this on my throwaway account. I thought about talking to Emma, but I know she's never going to fess up. Same with Mom. Emma brainwashed her into thinking that she was doing something right. I'd talk to Dean, but I want to research by myself before telling him what I've heard. I love Dean a lot, and I know there's not even a single slight chance he would do this. But there must be something that aroused suspicion, right? I'm really lost on this entire situation. So, guys, what should I do? What's up, everybody? Mr. Redditso here. I hope you guys are having a fantastic day. So today's story is one heck of a ride. I do have 3 updates for you guys. I've compiled every single update from the original post, and we're going to jump into update number 1. if you're new to the channel, take a second, hit that subscribe button. It really supports out the channel a lot, and this way, you'll never miss an upload. Alright, here's your update. Hey guys, I'm back with an update. But first, I'd like to address some of the comments here. I'm sorry that you'll have such a weak, insecure mindset, or that you're also traumatized by your past that you can't physically believe someone can have so much faith in their partner. I mean, I don't blind trust in Dean. I trust him so completely, with all of my soul, because I know him. This man ditched his best friend because he found out he was cheating on his wife. He despises infidelity so much that I think he would rather not be alive if he accidentally touched somebody's boobs in a moving bus. The only condition we both had at the very start was that if we wanted to pursue people outside of our relationship, we would just end it right there, because there's no point being with someone who can't keep their privates inside their pants. Anyways, thank you for your concern, and I really appreciate the advice. My mom sent me the screenshots of chats with Selena. Honestly, the evidence was pretty damning. I even started to doubt him for a second, but then I realized screenshots can be edited. I noted down her Instagram handle from the screenshot, but guess what? My account's blocked. But I knew she had an alternative account because I saw her post all the time, so I looked after Selena. I know, don't come at me. Turns out she's actually back home with her parents for vacation. Crap, why didn't I not think of vacations? Anyways, I met Selena under the pretense that we were meeting to catch up. I mean, we kinda were. So when we met, I got her talking. She talked about her health camps and how she was helping refugees and people who can't afford health care, along with working in the best hospitals alongside doctors. I'm really proud of her, actually. Anyways, then I asked her a pretty personal question. How and why did her relationship end with Dean, and did she ever text after? She seemed a little awkward, but I eased her into the conversation and she started yapping. She told me that their relationship ended because she was simply moving, the same reason that Dean told me, and that it simply would not work out. Then she told me something that really surprised me. She told me that only sometimes after she left, she had actually texted Dean. She missed him, and that maybe they could manage long distance. Dean told her, he even showed me the text, "I'm sorry, Sally. I think our separation was for the best. I care about you, I really do. But I met this girl at the office's fresher party, a chick named Laura. She hates my guts, but she apologized today, and I don't know. Maybe I can confess that I really like her over beers we're planning on getting this evening." I started crying. Man, I was doubting this guy for a second. Anyways, I scrolled through the messages when she was not looking, and there weren't many, so it was pretty easy. Most of them were kind messages, just checking up on her well-being over every birthday and small life updates. He'd actually said a lot of adorable things about me, which made me cry even more. I showed her the screenshots Mom sent me and explained my entire predicament. She told me this account was fake, not hers. Well, we went after the account together. It was a public account. She told me all these pictures were from her private Facebook, and we checked her friends, and right there, clear as day, was Emma. Selena wished me the best of luck, and we parted our ways. Now I have this new information about Emma, and I don't know what to do with it. Anyways, that's all for now. Update number 2. Hey guys, I'm so happy right now. I mean, not really. I guess relieved would be more accurate and perhaps satisfied by the sweet, sweet revenge that I've gotten. I finally got the evidence, y'all. Clear as day. Crystal. I confronted Emma on her birthday. Yeah, you heard that correctly. On her birthday. So, the other day, I went snooping through her phone to get the evidence that she was the one trying to thwart my perfect life. That bratty little jerk. I stumbled upon a trove of emails and text messages. And, well, the shocking discovery, I was even surprised really, revealed that Emma had been impersonating Selena in an attempt to seduce Dean. Dean, unbeknownst to me, had been receiving these deceitful messages but chose to ignore them, remaining steadfastly loyal to me, and I was still angry at him for not telling me. But okay. He even sent a very long direct message to her, requesting her not to message him, and that he knew this was not Selena as he regularly texted her. He told her to back off, as he had a, quote, beautiful goddess firecracker of a wife. So, there was no point. How convenient that this was not in the screenshot that Mom sent, huh? I opened her gallery and found all the edited screenshots. Bingo. Emma's plot thus got unraveled, showing her scheming nature in its full glory. I just logged onto her Google from my phone so that I could access everything, but oh boy, I found way more than I was looking for. From her Instagram to her Gmail to her, wait, adult content. Okay, I was not expecting that one. Mom has raised us to be extremely modest, and while I'm not shaming anyone for how they choose to earn their money, my family has a huge reputation as we're one of the oldest families around here. My aunt is practically a legend, and everyone looks at us to carry on the legacy. So, let's go ahead and fast forward 3 days late, her birthday. I was supposed to create a special slideshow for her. Whoops, classic Bridal Wars moment. I guessed the wrong thing somehow played and I exposed everything she said and did. Except the adult content that's much more personal conversation, and I would never do that to her. And something unexpected happened. Dean snapped. Not me, not my mom, not Emma. Dean. Dean was the one who absolutely burst. He gave quite a long earful to Emma, who just stood there, cowering and listening to his harsh words. I was really turned on, to be honest. Well, the party died down pretty quickly, and the guests that were planning on staying left too. When I was sure everybody left, I asked Dean to take an Uber home, as I had something I had to say in private. He just shrugged and left. Wow. He's not happy. He was not happy then and not happy now, and I'll get to him eventually, but let's go back to the topic. Mom, I told her all about the adult content. I actually contemplated on whether to tell her or not several times. She looked so defeated by how everything turned out. Well, that jerk inside of me told her. That set her off, and she kicked me out of the house, telling me she had a long conversation to have, and I was honestly terrified for Emma, but also kind of happy and satisfied that she was finally being shown the mirror and being called out for her toxicity, especially by her mother. That was long overdue. The next morning, I woke up to a text, told her to get out and stand on her own 2 feet. She has a week before she's on the street or somewhere else. Either way, she won't be here for my mother. That was about half an hour ago, and here I am posting this update, so yeah, I'm actually happy with how everything turned out, I guess. Update number 3. Hey guys, so I'm back. No drama this time, well, a little less drama. So obviously with everything that went down last time, Dean's figured out how I was hiding my sister's behavior and exposing him to potential exploitation and predation. I told him to hold his horses. What she did was not criminal level bad, right? She was just desperate for attention. Anyways, I told him that he was the one talking about hiding things since he never told me about this whole thing with the fake account and my sister impersonating Selena. Well, if he'd been upfront about it, this would not have happened in the first place, right? Let's be for real. Well, we made up in a pretty pleasant way. I'd say so. Also, I know you're all random strangers on the internet, but I just want you to know you're secretly invested. So guess what? Your girl is pregnant. Apparently, we got it only on our second try. Pretty quick, right? So yeah, he forgave me pretty quickly for not telling him about Emma when I played the pregnancy card. I know it's wrong, but come on. So yeah, I'm finally done with dealing with Emma. Okay, so I'm not really. Fine, this time I'm being the pushover instead of Mom, who is quite frankly still very mad that I think she'll murder Emma if she decides to go back there in the recent future. Okay, so I did a little something to get Emma started. I got her a small job at one of my friend's startups. She's the coffee-carrying paid intern for now, but we'll see how that goes, LOL. And I paid her deposit for a teeny-weeny apartment that resembles the relative size of her heart. I gave her the rent for the first month, and that way, she won't be completely homeless. Oh my, as I'm typing this, I realize my mother knew I'd help her out. She's obviously just wasn't going to let Emma sleep on the streets of an extremely safe suburb, but still. So yeah, that's it I guess, guys. I just want to say thank you and bye. Thanks for all the kind comments, advice, dumb and good, and the incoming congratulations. Show some love in the comments, y'all. Thanks again. Okay, so this story was absolutely crazy. Let's start with Dean. Even I was starting to suggest, well, maybe Dean is a dirty, no good rotten cheater with a bunch of tricks up his sleeve. Because it seemed like a lot of things were pointing in a red flag direction straight for Dean. But it turns out it was all Emma. Everything was Emma. Every lie, narcissistic move, manipulation, it all led back to Emma. I mean, guys, just take for example OP's mother and Emma's mother, who was hysterically in tears, had to call up and say, hey, I think your husband's cheating on you, and I have the evidence here. Guess who it was? Emma. Guys, just let me know what you would have done in the comment section. Drop it down below. How would you have handled this if you were OP, knowing that, well, maybe Dean is a cheater, but turns out it was your sister? Let me know your thoughts. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. It was a wild one, roller coaster drama. If you guys want more daily videos, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. If you're new to the channel, my name's Mr. Reddito, and I narrate stories daily. I hope you have a fantastic day. I'll catch you in the next one. And just remember, it's cool to be kind. See ya.